Kuzongbo, and a very warm welcome to Bhutan This Week, a weekly news magazine program where we take a look at some of the major news stories covered over the week. In this week's edition, Bhutan is collaborating with White & Case LLP, an international law firm, to establish the country's first law school. The 5% communication tax comes into effect beginning this month. And the renovation of the Dasha Gong begins. Bhutan is to collaborate with White & Case LLP, an international law firm, to establish the country's first law school. The president of the Royal Institute of Law, Her Royal Highness Princess Sonamdechan Wangchuk, and the chairman of the White & Case LLP accepted the certificate of commitment to the action on the 23rd of last month. The certificate was awarded by Chelsea Clinton, who is the vice chair of the Clinton Foundation. The 5% communication tax has come into effect from this month. With it, Bhutan Telecom has increased the call rate to India from 5 to 7.5 Newton per minute.
Tinlalham spends 400 to 500 Newton every month recharging her phone. Talking to her, she said she is not aware of the 5% telecommunication service tax they paid. The Tax Act of 2014 states all telecom service providers will have to collect applicable sales tax of 5% on behalf of the government. The various telecommunication services used by the people are either prepaid or postpaid services, be it for mobiles, internet or landline. The managing director of Tashisel says the service tax will have an impact in the profit of the company. He added that the 5% service tax might not make any difference to some.
May not care actually. People who are quite well off may not care, but people who are, who are really in the borderline, for them, any increase is an adjustment needs to be done in their income. So it will definitely, we perceive that it will have impact on people who are a low-income people group. They will be affected, and they will definitely decrease their usage by that much amount, I believe.
The General Manager of Marketing Division of Bhutan Telecom says the 5% telecommunication service tax is being imposed not only on mobile but also on fixed line and internet. He also explained about the rise in the call rates to India.
Calling from Bhutan to India is cheaper than calling from India to Bhutan. So we have compared this India tariff calls even regionally among other countries, and what we actually saw was this was one of the major, the lowest among the region. When the people make more calls from Bhutan to India, we land up paying our partners in India more of rupee. So this is again a little small initiative that we can actually try to help our Bhutanese economies.
He mentioned the rates to other international calls would remain same. He also talked about the other major change that the public is likely to notice.
Until September end, we have this negative 15, where people can actually make a call till negative 15. But what actually happened was it was cheaper for a customer to buy a new SIM rather than topping up on the negative 15 SIM, because if they buy a new SIM with $100, they get 100 worth of talk time. But if they tend to recharge on the old SIM, which actually has ran into negative 15, they would be getting only 85. So because of this issue, we've actually done away with this.
For broadband users, the monthly home package of 399 Newton with implementation of 5% service tax will now provide a data limit of only 3.8 GB instead of 4 GB. Meanwhile, most of the public are not aware of the 5% telecommunication service tax. Suman Sharma, a private internet cafe owner in Thimphu, says the increased number of broadband users has hampered his business, and further, the implementation of the tax would only decrease the customer turnout. With implementation of the 5% telecommunication service tax, an estimated of 125 million Newton tax return will be paid to the government annually by the two service providers. Sonam Chudan for BBS News.
The Office of the Attorney General, in the rebuttal submission to the court, said the 3.02-acre land in Omkar and 7-acre in Lubding in Luntifu were acquired through illegal means by tampering and manipulating documents. The Office of the Attorney General submitted their rebuttal against the former Royal Advisory Councillor Chang Uge on Tuesday. The Office of the Attorney General said the manipulation was carried out in collusion with the then employee of the National Land Commission, Sonam Nobu. Chang Uge was then serving as the Gap of Changyok in 1987 to 89. The Office of the Attorney General also submitted to the court that Sonam Nobu was given 3 acres of Sokshing land as bribe in the name of Sonam Nobu's late mother-in-law. Chang Uge had earlier submitted to the court that he had inherited the land from his parents. The Office of the Attorney General refuted the claim by saying if it was ancestral land, it should have been reflected in the old term. Chang Uge had said the documents cannot be manipulated as it had to go through committees and agencies. However, the Office of the Attorney General said no documents were routed through the committee. 500 meters of area from Gelifu border gate towards Gelifu town have been declared a buffer zone where constructions of new houses as well as other constructions are not allowed. However, the Gelifu Tomde has written to the Ministry of Works and Human Settlement requesting that the buffer zone area be reduced from 500 meters to between 50 and 80 meters.
About 150 acres of land fall within the buffer zone, so no construction is allowed in the area. Only small huts and one-storied houses, which were built long time back, can be seen there. Landowners say although their land is close to the town, they have not been able to benefit. They were not allowed to construct houses to give on rent, but if the proposal put up by the Gelifu Tomde to the Ministry of Works and Human Settlement to reduce the buffer zone gets approved, residents are hoping to earn some income.
Thus, now the government is restricting us for not to build the big houses near the 2-store or 3-store near the border areas, and if government allowed us to give us to build near the 3-store or big houses, we are planning to make.
Until now, we have not been allowed to carry out any construction. We heard the buffer zone is going to be reduced and we are happy. So we are making plans for construction.
Stating it is a buffer zone. We were not even allowed to construct our houses properly. We are hopeful the government will look into our problem.
The Gelifu Tomde said there is possibility that the ministry will reduce the buffer zone, and when it happens, the Tomde said it will inform the people. Compiled for Puba Teshudan, PBS News, Gelifu.
The Dasha Gong Zong Conservation Project has begun the Zong renovation works following the opening of the project on the 27th of last month. The renovation is funded by the Government of India. It will cost 190 million nutram. It is being supervised by the Division of Conservation of Heritage Sites of the Home and Culture Affairs Ministry with the Dasha Gong Zong. The main renovation includes restoration of the walls and other structures damaged by the 2009 earthquake. The project is expected to be complete in 2018. Although Bhutan reports a fewer cases of rabies outbreak, mostly along the bordering towns, rabies is still a problem. According to the Department of Livestock, transboundary movement of stray animals is the biggest challenge in controlling rabies in the country. The World Rabies Day this year was marked in Samtsi.
As a part of program, a walkathon with banners along the road and street by students and Zongkok officials concluded singing "Rabies, though fatal, are preventable." It is the mass campaign like this one that tries to reach wider community to educate on rabies.
Catching the stray dogs to sterilize, vaccinate is a big challenge. Number one. Number two, as mentioned earlier, most of our rabies problem issues is along the border with our neighbor. So we have a lot of stray dogs crossing the border, and that's the problem we have with challenges. So basically the transboundary movement of animals.
Although once the human contracts and begin to show the symptoms of rabies, there is no cure. But interestingly, rabies is 100% preventable. One of the successful rabies control program stories is the Dog Population Management and Rabies Control Project.
It is very, very important that dogs are not only vaccinated against rabies but sterilised as well, because that's how we can bring the population down, and we can also in that respect start to see rabies come to an end officially.
Under the project, over 50,000 dogs have been vaccinated and sterilised in the country since 2009. In Bhutan, rabies cases are negligible, but about 55,000 people die every year around the world because of rabies. Compiled for Sonam Finso, Tanden Finso for BBS News.
The Business Opportunity and Information Center tell the local leaders that enough measures have been put in place to avoid risks of non-recovery of loans, which comes collateral-free. Of the total 5 billion neutrum under the Economic Stimulus Plan, 1.9 billion is provided at grassroots for manufacturing projects and non-formal rural commercial sector activities.
At the sensitization program on Business Opportunity and Information Center in Samti, most local leaders and officials raised questions on how the recovery aspect is taken care of since the loans are collateral-free. Unlike most financial institutions which require collateral either in the form of properties, BOIC's 1.9 billion neutrum under the revolving fund component will provide collateral-free, highly concessional interest rate to manufacturing projects and non-formal rural commercial sector to the public.
Any project proposal that is submitted will not be provided access to fund easily. The project proposals will be appraised based on the economic impact criteria as well as the terms and conditions and other criteria laid out by BOIC. Thereafter, once the project is approved, the total disbursement will not be done in one go. Based on the time schedule of implementing the project, the funds will be dispersed in different phases to avoid diversion of funds.
The collateral-free loans are given primarily to improve access to funds, especially to those aspiring entrepreneurs or private sector that otherwise remain stagnant because of requirement of collateral to get loans from the banks.
At the same time, we will also have monitoring teams from BOIC as well as our partner bank, Bhutan Development Bank, to engage with the project proponent and look at the status of the project as well as the progress of the project. We have signed a contract with Bhutan Development Bank, who will offer all post-project fund services, including recovery services and legal services. So therefore, all the legal services and recovery services will be provided by BDBL.
Besides, it will also provide training programs to develop practical business skills of potential entrepreneurs to help them draw effective business plans. Opened about a month ago, BOIC is tasked to stimulate growth of cottage and small manufacturing industries and non-formal rural economic activities by providing necessary support, both administratively and financially. Compiled for Sonam Finso, Tiki Chorintaji, PBS News.
The Drugel Deaf Education Unit in Paro for the first time celebrated the International Week for People with Hearing Impairment last week. The event was observed with students taking part in various co-curricular activities for 2 days.
Demonstrating their knowledge and intellect, students from the Drugel Deaf Education Unit showed they were as capable as any other child. The children were taking part in a school quiz organized to mark the International Week for those with hearing impairment. Among the participants is 13-year-old Sring Dentup, who is enjoying the game. He has been staying at the school hostel for the last 5 years. Through his sign language, he tells PBS that he enjoys mathematics but says football is his favorite pastime. And he says he misses his parents, who are back in Samti. Dechen, a Zonga teacher at the school, communicates with him and the others through sign language. Dechen says teaching the hearing impaired children is no easy job, but satisfying.
When we teach them something they do not understand easily, we use sign languages, but they do not know what the sign means in the beginning. For example, we teach them this sign for a chair, and they also replicate the same, but they do not know what it means. So we have to bring a chair and show them that this is what the sign stands for.
The Drugal Deaf Education Unit started in 2003 with just one teacher and 10 students. And today, it has 26 staff members with 79 students. Compiled for Ishigese in Paro, Tilzindoji, PBS News.
And also, for the first time after its establishment in 2010, the Sabah Bhutan organized an exhibition on textile and arts earlier this week. Sabah Bhutan stands for SARC Business Association of Home-Based Workers.
The Secretary of Ministry of Education, Sangisam, inaugurated the exhibition put up by the members of Sabah. 47-year-old Zangmo joined Sabah only last year. She says in just 1 year, Sabah has helped her to showcase her products and help her earn some income.
It is very difficult to sell the products ourselves, but the advantage we have as being a member of Sabah is that we get money on time and it does not matter where I work.
Chimidema is another member in Gelefu. Today, she is here in the capital with 10 varieties of pickles, including gooseberry juice.
I think we will do good business. Today our business is in a small scale, but I think in future it would get bigger. Our products are homemade and organic, so I think it will do good.
The executive director of Sabah Bhutan says that over the years, the members have increased to more than 400 today.
Our target is basically to sustain by 2017. So looking into the at the Sabah's business, we are trying to now go export. We want to go outside the country, exhibit our products, because we feel that now we have reached to a level where our products would be appreciated by outside country also. So our next step basically is to grow slowly, have niche market outside Bhutan, take part in exhibitions, do our food production, and then also introduce basically new textile with fashion. We want to integrate with fashion also.
No wonder there are many visitors at the exhibition.
Their products are very good in terms of quality, and the price are comparatively cheaper. For instance, the Horukira 3 Bisampa one, in the market I think it ranges around 3,500 to 4,000, but here it's 3,000. So its price is comparatively cheap and the quality is very good.
And the participants are hopeful that the 5-day exhibition will open up more opportunities here and abroad. Ishingidup, PBS News.
And around 132 kilometers connectivity roads were handed over to the Department of Roads by Samtsi Zongkak. The handing over of GC road is expected to improve the road infrastructure and to make it more convenient for users in all seasons.
The Geo Connectivity Road under Samtsi Zongkak was officially handed over to the Department of Roads on Monday. The Department of Roads has also taken over construction of 3 bridges in the next few years.
Because in terms of professionalism, the quality and all these things, so Department of Roads is well equipped, and so we need to correct some of the technicality in the road construction activities. That's why. So the government has advised us to take over the roads.
The Chief Zongkak Agriculture Officer said initially the Zongkak agriculture sector was taking care of the Geo Connectivity roads. He said with a shift of responsibility, They can now concentrate more on farm roads and irrigation channel construction activities.
The time that I used to spend for this road, I will be concentrating more on the farm roads as well as on irrigation construction activities, which is a government priority or department priority in the 11th five-year plan. As well as we have signed a compact sign also with the government, and our my expectation is that I can concentrate more on our agricultural activities, rather more agricultural activities than the technical district.
Meanwhile, the road surface is not blacktopped. However, officials from the Department of Roads said blacktopping will depend on the directives of the government and availability of the budget. Compiled for Sonopunso, Kinsangishi, PBS News.
Residents of Gelifu are complaining about poor cable service. They say it has been going on for some time now.
Sanginet Service is the cable operator in Gelifu. In a day, it receives 10 to 15 complaints over the phone. Most of the complaints are regarding blank screen. Residents say it has been quite a long time that the service has been poor.
One problem is that the message appears right in the middle of the screen asking to recharge. I don't know if they are paying or not, but we pay the cable operators every month. Looks like they are not paying because we get the message time and again.
It is never clear. However, to complain, we were told to put up in writing. We cannot go to put up the complaint later. It is not good. However, they never fail to come on time to collect the money.
The pictures hang like Dawi Kudrin. Officials interview, preaching by the lumps. The picture freezes and there is no audio. It stays like this for a while. I don't know if the problem is from up or here.
When it rains, it says no signal on BBS 1 and 2. In other channel, the message appears, so it disturbs, especially in cartoon channel.
The proprietor of Sanginet Service blamed the poor cable service to the use of direct-to-home or DTH dishes. He said the cable service operators are actually supposed to use integrated receivers and decoders or IRD.
We don't use IRD box because we have to get it from the government. Unless the government gives, we cannot adjust. The government does not give us IRD box. Moreover, almost 15 to 16 channels are from DTH. So even if there is a slight rainfall, the no signal message appears on 15 to 16 channels of the DTH. So it is causing inconveniences to us as well as to the people.
With the cable service showing no sign of improvement, some of the clients have switched to DTH and some are contemplating as well. The cable operator has over 1,200 clients. Compiled for Puba, Test Student, BBS News, Gelifu.
Well, that's it for this week's edition of Bhutan This Week. Thanks for watching.